So today, get ready, buckle up, Buttercup, because we are talking the X Factor, everything you need to 10x your business for exponential growth. We are still on fire from the 10x growth conference that we just got back from. So give us a 10x if you were able to buy an online ticket, if you were there in person and we didn't see you, give us a 10x in the comments. Jana, how excited are you for today's
topic? I am still just gleaning from all the information. It was definitely a game changer. And I know that everyone has been to events and they have these things that they take away. By the way, we're going to give you guys, we paid $2,000 to be in the room each. And then we had a mastermind around this. And then, of course, you can watch the online later as well and get your ticket. So stay tuned to hear about that. What the heck is 10X? We'll talk about it here in a moment. But I'm telling you, Laurie, I'm still going off of this information. I can't wait to share some tips. Maybe people couldn't come. They couldn't be in the room. But guess what? You guys are going to get some of our 10X takeaways from this amazing conference. Over 2,000 people. Hello. There was an event of over 2,000 people, and some people paid upwards of $20,000 to be in that room. It was incredible. And Laura, you know this because you got to experience it as well.
Yes, it was so amazing. I got to host our in-person watch party. So although they were only allowed to cap out at 2,000 people, they had probably 20,000 all together watching this event live. That's how humongous this was. And we had a group of about 10 of our business owners in the room in Miami on the beach, just watching, growing, learning. It was so fantastic. And I don't even think everyone has finished processing just from the weekend. So tonight, those who attended our event, we're meeting again, we're downloading, we're making goals and ways that we're going to implement this information into our businesses and into our industry. So I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, we are. We literally had two different masterminds around the information there in Miami. And then, like you said, we're going to be debriefing again. It's one thing to go to events like we have experienced, we take the notes, but if we don't share those, if we don't go back and review those and really put those into practice and get some accountability around that, it's easy, Laurie, for us to just to kind of go in one ear, out the other. Oh, it made us feel good. But where is the implementation? So I know we're talking to business owners out there. I'm looking right now, finding you guys on our home staging network. And we'll pop in here as soon as I can find it. But I want to make sure that you guys understand, as business owners, as leaders, it is up to us to make sure that we are filling our tank so that we can respond to those problems and those challenges that come up day to day. Like, our passion can drive us, but it can only give us so much. You know, we're going to hit those brick walls. And so for us, 10X Growth Con, look it up if you have no idea what it is. Grant Cardone and his fabulous team put together a 3-day conference, and they took a huge leap of faith and had this in person in Miami, one of the most beautiful hotels there at the Turnberry. It's a JW Marriott, incredible resort. And you guys were on the beach doing your watch party. So I love that they gave the option, hey, you want to be in the room, we're going to do this, we're going to protect, but also you can watch virtually. And Laurie, we had some heavy hitters, some incredible people that were professional athletes, actors, actresses, business owners, billion-dollar, not million, not 7-figure, but billion-dollar business owners with 2 sharks from Shark Tank. It was incredible.
Absolutely. So I know the girls are watching online. I know that Facebook updated their going live platform. So if you can't comment right now, don't worry. The girls are working on it behind the scenes, but I know we're live. We want to hear your feedback. So we're going to continue while they're working on this on the back end. But let's start with our day one takeaways. Now, all of these people are different high level business people that aren't necessarily, in fact, none of them have a staging company that we know of, but everything they said to us is something that we can implement into our businesses and our day-to-day life, into building our team and our leadership. And so let's start with day one takeaways.
Oh gosh. Well, Grant, this was our second growth cod. The first one last year in 2020, before everything got shut down. We were in Las Vegas, and we were at our beautiful Mandalay Bay Hotel. We had a great arena there. Definitely over 10,000 people. I mean, we were living it. We were like, wow, this is the best. This is like fight night, right? It was crazy. And just the excitement, the energy, fireworks. And if you know Grant Cardone, you follow him at all, you know there's going to be some excitement. You know he's going to 10x any event you've ever been to. He's going to bring the energy, and he's going to bring the guests. He's going to bring the lineup. It's not to hear them perform or just to go, well, look at those people. Yay. They're talking about their struggles. And so they're talking about their comeback stories. They're talking about the greatness that they have experienced in this journey, and really just letting us into their world. And we had a lot of the same information packaged in different ways. There were definitely success leaves clues, right? So starting it off, Grant just opened with people that were literally doing a war dance almost, right? And they were like, the point being, we're going to war, we're going to battle. Are you ready? Is your armor ready? Is your team ready? And thank goodness we don't have to do a dance before we go into battle every day, and making sure that we're ready for it. We're ready for the day. We're up for the challenge. We don't quit. We don't stop. We fight through. So that was really the message at the beginning. Kicking it off, of course, there were fireworks in a hotel conference room. Don't know that we can do that at our summit in November, but it was just great. And I just love his story from, losing his father at an early age, being just on drugs so bad, so skinny, couldn't hardly function, to going into rehab, to finally getting his life on track. And then from there, investing in real estate, pursuing his wife for over a year before she would even call him back. And now beautiful Elena, not only beautiful, but smart and a wonderful businesswoman. She's going to be, of course, our keynote speaker at the Home Staging and Real Estate Summit in November. But it was just great to see his story. He definitely has a comeback story, and how he's 10x'd everything. So he started us off. I know that he got everyone excited. He definitely had some colorful language. I could tell he was so hyped up. The man is self-admittedly has ADD, and he just really set the stage and set that platform ready for greatness. And when people are paying $2,000 at a minimum for every seat in the room, the crowd is at a whole nother level. Like, this isn't free. This isn't a $99 ticket. This is something people literally risk their lives to be in the room. And the energy was off the chain. It was unbelievable.
Yes, I know they had that warning before they even started, and that energy even passed through us in our watch party. So that was super exciting, and just to start that off, and I bet you it was very emotional. I don't know how you personally felt, but I feel like it was probably super emotional because it's been a hard year. We know, because we had the only home staging live event last year in 2020. And so that in itself was super emotional for us as well. And so there you go. Look at that.
It's just incredible room. It was just unbelievable. So great stuff. But you're right, Laurie. I mean, people wanted to be there, and it was emotional for a lot of the people that were on stage and people that were in the audience. They said, this is our first time that we have been out. And so with that was just this urgency, this excitement, this energy that was just incredible. And for me, it gave me hope. We are going to get back to events. We are going to get back to a next level normal is what I'm calling it. It's a next level, right? Like normal 10x. And that's what it's about. It's about not having fear, but knowing that this is the time to push forward, move forward, and go into greatness.
Absolutely. So my favorite speaker from day one was Jesse Itzler. So if you're not following him, I would definitely recommend following this guy. He had so many great takeaways. I know that you have your notes. I have my notes, but I think we go through who our favorite speaker was on day one. I'll let you start, Jana.
Oh gosh. Well, let's just first give a shout out to all of the incredible speakers that were on stage. By the way, we had surprise guests. We had Tommy Hilfiger as a surprise guest. We had trying to think of our let me find his name. Everybody's going to know this guy. Drew Brees was a surprise guest, right? So we had Alex Rodriguez. We had Don Peebles, who you may not even know who that is, but you better know who he is. My gosh, talk about a story of greatness. Just being raised up around politics and understanding how important connections were, but also fighting for what you believe in. Again, billionaire. Incredible. We had Glenn Sanford there, one of my favorites in the real estate world, who is the founder of EXP, and how he just went out of the box, right? So we also had Tyrese Gibson. We had, and he's an actor, also wonderful businessman. We had Cindy Eckert, and she had created a wonderful drug that then just the story of success there, something that no one had created. Another billionaire. Pete Vargas is all about stages and presentations and conferences and events. And, we're always on stage. How are you presenting yourself? How are you clearly communicating? Swan Sit, there was a clubhouse, right? Connect. And so she is all about worked with brands like Nike, taking them to the next level. A lot of cosmetic companies, totally incredible. And then, of course, Elena. And so she got to speak as well. Pitbull, hello, entertainer, but more than that, a communicator. If you're writing songs and you're communicating, that starts there with the words and the word phrases, the phraseologies that he used to really give us some nuggets of success was incredible. Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs, right? Glenn Stearns, Undercover Billionaire. If you haven't watched that, Kevin O'Leary. Damon John was another surprise guest, he and his wife. Bethany Frankel, Real Housewives, behind the Skinny brand. That's just incredible, her story through it all. And then, of course, Jesse Itzler. So, Laurie, my favorite, and I want to hear from what your takeaways were from Jesse. I'm going to go with, it's very hard because they were all favorites in so many ways. If I were to say who was the biggest takeaway, I would say Drew Brees. And I'll tell you here in a moment why. But I believe that with every single speaker, there were so many nuggets. There were so many diamonds in all that they said. You had to find them. My notes are here and here and here. And these are things that I can go back to. So I know you have your notes. So what was your favorite with Jesse?
The one thing I love about Jesse was, now I didn't put them in my phone, people. I'm a writer downer. So the one thing I loved about him is you cannot outsource your soul. Right. And so he kind of started with his soul story and how it took him so long. I honestly did not know who he was at all. On the promo pictures, I was like, I don't know who this guy is. And it kind of made, he's a rapper. And then he told the story, like, this funny story about being a rapper. And how many different, I know we're home stagers. So how many different stages of your life are you going to go through before you get to that big thing, that massive thing, that one thing that takes you and catapults you to the next level? And so he told a story too, that he slept on 18 different couches, and it wasn't until his 17th couch that he had his aha moment. And so I wrote in my notes, he needs to have some type of place where people can go and be creative, or something called Couch 17. It's something, it's a substantial symbol for him in his life, to where he was sleeping on friends' couches until he got that moment. So don't give up. And then the other big takeaway from him, he was one of my favorites, was he was telling his wife, we have one job. And while he's telling his story and building this up, his one job was to be healthy, right? That was the last thing I was actually thinking that he was going to say, was that one thing needs to be that him and his wife need to stay healthy. Why? Because they need to build their empire, because they need to be able to have a clear mind, and to make good choices, and to be able to interact with people, and work long days and do all of this stuff. And so I loved that he said that, because that really made you think, okay, I know in our growth development program that we take home stagers through, one of the modules, one of the classes, or two of the classes actually, is your morning routine and your night routine, right? And how to have a successful day hinges on those two things. And so I thought those were really, really big takeaways. What about you?
Gosh, well, with him, I mean, there were so many stories that he told that really drove home a point. And he talked about, he's a runner and he just could not get beyond 38 miles. And so it was finally, he found a coach. And really long story, but he said that this coach helped him break through that mindset that you don't give up. You don't give power to the negativity. How you think is how you speak. And when you speak out negativity, you give those words power. So it's all in the mindset. Don't quit. I don't get tired. Even if you're exhausted, I don't quit. I don't get tired. I don't give pain a voice. And so the words you speak are super important. A lot of us are around negative people, and hello, are we the negative person? And we can't let that live out in the world. So anytime you speak it, you give it life. When you write it down, right? Like those are the things that can stop us and hinder us. So I believe, we need to make sure that we're not giving negativity or pain or frustration a voice, so that it can actually live.
Absolutely. Negativity spreads so much faster than positivity. That's why we have to work twice as hard for it. And so I think that's really important. And he was just such the perfect breath of fresh air as soon as we started, right? So many people didn't know what to expect from this event, especially those who attended the massive events that Grant Cardone had. But I think that was really, really a great takeaway as well. And so going into who's our next speaker that really impacted.
Gosh, I know we got to keep
every person.
Got to keep it short. We only have just a few minutes left with you guys. And so we would encourage you. They are right now editing it. And so we will give you guys a link as soon as that's ready. $97, I think, gets you the entire thing. We paid $2,000 a ticket. We have like 10 people there in the room, and we will be in Diamond Seats next year at the conference. Just got my ticket today for that. They haven't even announced the date. They have not even announced the place. We think it's going to be back in Las Vegas, but that's how much they literally pre-sold tickets without a date and without a place at this conference. And people were paying anywhere from, again, $1,500 to $7,000 to be able to get those key seats. So I'm going to give you, Laurie, some takeaways from Pitbull. I believe that he was incredible. My gosh. He had a lot of little things, right? Little nuggets, like you can't run a business like a boss, but a leader. You have to run it like a leader. You have to come from that underdog. Like, we can do this. We've got it. It's not a marathon. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? We have these short wins, but we keep going. We're going down and around that track. And sometimes if you ever ran the mile, or like, it takes a while to get around. You've got to zig and zag, but you make it through the finish line. Short steps, but a long vision. So we're taking steps day to day, but we've got that long vision. Get in the right circle. Get in the right circle of influencers. We are here, Jana and Laurie from HSRA, the Home Staging and Redesign Alliance. And what are we? Who are we? We are business consultants for our home staging and redesign industry. So we are building things like GDP, the Growth Development Program. We're building things like Excel Growth membership at a new level that encompasses leadership. It encompasses sales and marketing so that we can build the brands and the companies that we want to align with in the future and become partners with. So this is not about our single solo staging or design company. That's where it starts, but it can definitely grow from there. So get around those right circles, those right people. That was huge. Fly like an eagle. Don't fly low with egos. You know, that was huge too. Laura, did you have anything from Pitbull?
Basically the same things that you had. I do know that he had shared something about, just where he came from, right? Now, who would have thought that, speaking to these people who are millionaires or on their way to be millionaires, that they would bring in someone who was a rapper, right? And I think throughout the theme of the 10X Growth Con, what people don't realize is that everyone has had a struggle,
Sure.
right? So everybody has come through some struggle. Doesn't matter whether you grew up in a great neighborhood or you grew up in a horrible neighborhood. And just to hear his struggle coming up and how he had a point in his career where he realized he had to change from being the rapper Pitbull to being actually a businessman,
Yes.
right? And how he had to make right decisions. And so he did say that, keeping in mind, it's the person when you're in your in his days before becoming a businessman, I guess you could say, he referenced how those people that stood out to him were the ones that were really there for them in the good, the bad, and the ugly, like the inner circle, right? And so knowing the alignment that people have to have with you, and then also knowing what people you have to let go of, right?
Yes.
So you're building your business, you're building an empire or whatever that is. The people that you hung out with before could actually make a decision in their life or have a reputation that can tear down everything that you've built. And so he had to make some hard cuts in his life. He had to make some hard choices to turn and go a different direction and align himself under certain people's core values, ethics, all of those things that you don't really think of when you see what the media portrays maybe Pitbull as. But to get inside his brain, to realize that he's not about the entourage. He's not about everybody seeing him. He's more of a low-key guy. And him being a rapper was just an avenue that took him into where he's going now and building his own business and empire. And so I love hearing those stories of kind of rags to riches, but sometimes the struggle bus is a good thing to be on for a little bit.
You
right?
fight through it. You fight out of it. You know there's got to be a better way. And you don't take just what's handed to you and expect that that's all you're going to have out of life. You build something. And I love, he said, build that plane while you fly it. You know, he talked about too, just what you're saying here. You know, you have to make those tough cuts. And many times as business owners, as business leaders, you know, you are VP of operations. We've got to make sometimes those really tough calls. And he said, we've all heard the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink when it comes to people, right? But he said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make that horse a donkey, or that donkey a horse. You can't turn something or someone into something else. This is where it comes. If you know that person isn't working out and it's painful and it's emotional and you're thinking, well, they'll change, right? This is about stealth wealth. This is about heightened levels of success. I know we're reaching it at HSRA. Our own staging company, Model My Home, here in Dallas, Texas, is reaching it at new levels. There are so many opportunities out here for us, but we've got to make these tough cuts. We've got to know that our inner circle, we have assets around us, and we also have liabilities. So let's get rid of the liabilities so we can grow bigger, faster.
Yes. And so with Pitbull, he was amazing. So so much great information from him, and authenticity, right? Like he was very authentic and very real. There was some colorful language throughout the conference, but the one thing I can respect is that if it's truly who they are and they're that passionate, I can respect that, right?
Yes.
I can respect what they have to say. But I think on that day following him, we had the one, the only, the 2021 home staging and real estate summit keynote speaker who is going to just do a phenomenal job, was one and only Elena Cardone. Spoke to the hearts of so many people in business,
Yes.
in their personal life, in their marriages. I mean, the amount of different things that she was speaking to for each person. Every person has a relationship of some sort, whether it's a romantic relationship, a professional relationship. Every person there, she spoke to about their business and how to build that empire. And I'm super excited because she's our keynote speaker. But just hearing from her, she's kind of the power behind Grant Cardone, right? She lets him do his thing, but when he needs a little extra pushing, like she is there right beside him, behind him, she goes before him, all of that. She is right there, and she was encouraging and really just dropping some very simple but you need to know knowledge, right?
Yeah, some notes I have, like we're creating an empire together, right? It's horsepower. So I encourage you, if you have a team, if you have, a spouse or significant other, like not fighting against each other, but just like horsepower, two horses can pull way more than they can, all 3 times as much by themselves, right? So it's like this horsepower momentum, giving 200%, not like 100 and 100% equals 200, not 50-50, but let's make sure that our horsepower, we're teaming up with the right people and understanding that, in the challenges, she shared about taking her real estate test and how she thought she wasn't a good reader or a good student. She was more creative, but she pushed through. And those wins and those successes and taking massive action no matter what is huge. And, going to the top together. People don't want to be at the top alone. They want to take people with them. And that's exactly what we want to do at HSRA. We've got a huge real estate conference. We want to take realtors on the journey with home stagers to understand we are both in this together. Everybody within real estate is doing one thing. We're selling properties. We are leasing properties. So we must be on the same teams. So it's those things that Elena talked about is, we're stronger together. Let's take people with us. Heightened levels of success is what we want to achieve.
So good. I mean, I don't know, Jana, are we going through every speaker? Or are we doing our highlights? Because
we can stick with highlights because I think everybody needs to get their rewatch or, after party ticket so that they can listen and literally have these nuggets that are going to speak over and over to them. And it's just incredible, if you look at Glenn Sanford and you look at real estate and how he changed that. That is one of the reasons we have our own real estate conference, as I talked about. Exchange event. It starts with an X. Go exchangeevent.com. It is here at the Urban Convention Center in Dallas. Not November. That's our event, our big home staging. But we've got May 20th and 21st. We want to make sure that you guys are there with us. Is it 20th or 21st or 21st?
22nd. The
21st and 22nd. And you guys can go to exchangeevent.com, get your ticket because this is in the room. We have realtors. We have professional home stagers. We have everyone associated with real estate, and this is going to be the exchange event. So today you can get your ticket and bring those realtors with you. We want to let them know how important it is to properly prepare homes so they can get maximum dollar. No matter how quickly it sells, let's get maximum dollar. So we're all about setting you guys up so that you can connect with the people, grow your business, have those heightened levels of success.
which is so good. And I just put the exchange event in the comments below, so you can go ahead and click on that, which is super exciting. And so one person I really liked, which kind of segues into our exchange events, was Don Peebles.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think his interview, that all of these interviews will actually change the way you think about business. It will elevate your thinking, and it will challenge you a little bit on why you're thinking so small, right? So, as you're a child, if you have a friend and they do something, you're like, I can do that. Or what about those times when maybe people who were your frenemies would do something and you'd be jealous of them? Like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. Well, it's the same thing. If they can do it, you can do it too. But Don Peebles, he had a quote about eagles as well, and it says you can never fly with eagles if you're hanging out with turkeys, right? And so you have to, I love that. I think I probably messed it up a little bit, but that was the gist of it. But
Yeah,
he
great.
was all about relationship building, right? And a lot of times, if you're building your home staging business or you're building especially real estate, is really about building relationships. Everybody has to know who you are, how to contact you. Your name has to be in front of them all the time. But how do you get there? How do you get to people knowing who you are? And it's building relationships. And he told this story about wanting to get to access to the owner of this restaurant, right? So he didn't just go in and say, I want to talk to the owner. Let me talk to the owner. He actually worked with the waiters, the maitre d' first, paid them very well, tipped them very well, built that relationship with them. And that really resonated with me, because when I was in real estate and my broker would come to me and say, hey, Laurie, who should we use for this? Who's your go-to for this? It was those ones that came in and took care of me. Those were always the ones at top of my mind. I remember getting Dodger tickets in LA. The title people would come in and give me Dodger tickets, Lakers tickets. I even got to put on a Lakers championship ring because they had a connection. And when they won their ring, they brought the ring to the office. Don't ask me why, but I got to put it on and send a picture to my husband and make him very, very jealous that I got to see this amazing ring. But do you think I would ever forget about that? That was like 15, 20 years ago, but I still remember them. I still would recommend them to this day. And so who are you building relationships with? Are you a home staging business owner? What agents are you building relationships? Are you an agent? What home staging companies are you building relationships with? And I know you had tons of takeaways from him as well, Jana.
Yes, he talked about we've got to change or improve the way we think, the people we hang around with, making new habits. We've got to get great advice from people who have been there. Why should we want to figure this out ourselves? Why would we want to waste time, energy, and effort starting up a new staging business? Getting into another ceiling that you hit when it's time to add team, another ceiling when you hit whenever you are now adding vacant stages and furnishings and all of the bringing logistics in-house, having warehouse, having sales and marketing. And now, we have a team of almost 15 employees in our own home staging business that runs without me. You hit these heightened or these levels of success, heightened levels, but then you hit these ceilings. You can't grow beyond $1 million. You can't grow on and on and on. And so why not be in a room where you're learning from others that are so willing to share? HSRA, we've got an incredible group of advisors from all over the country, really globally, that are there to help as we grow and we hit these ceilings, these barriers in our business. So I love that he said, get great advice from people who have been there before. Follow it, partner with them, and repeat. And I just thought that was huge. And literally reading from my notes, you can see it right there, my takeaways from him. It was huge, and it was defining to me, and also it was just another reminder that we're on the right track.
Right. And I was just thinking about that, Jen. As many people as we have in the Home Staging Network on our Facebook group, as many people that are watching this afterwards on our YouTube channel, all of this information and them probably saying, well, why would, home stagers go to a 10X growth conference? Why would they be doing all of this stuff? And it's because you have to think outside of your box. You have to sometimes get out of your own head and figure those things out. And that's what sets us apart from every other place that people can go, right? To get information. We are digging deeper and raising the lid on what is possible. For so long in the home staging industry, there has been a lid. It's
Yes.
a hobby business. It's not serious. Nobody's taking it serious. But let me assure you that because of the work that our companies that are under HSRA are doing, the voice that is being heard to these people that are in the real estate, the top of the top real estate industry, they know about home staging. Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone have directly heard from Jana about the home staging industry. And guess what? Their ears perked up when they heard about it. And those are the types of steps we are taking for our industry to build our industry, to make sure that as many people in this world know the importance of the home staging industry inside the real estate industry. And that's why it's so important to be aligned with the right people, to be a member of HSRA. If you're not, myhsra.com, go there today, align yourself with a company that is going to take you higher and expand your reach of who you're able to reach and speak to and open the conversation and have a voice for our industry. Because if we
are the authority when it comes to growing your business in home staging. We are the authority, the go-to when it comes to business. We want to grow, right? We know you know how to stage. We know you know how to design and decorate, and some of you are realtors, but are you true business owners? Did you go to business school and now understand, take the course on how to add a team, how to hire, how to fire, how to promote, how to, keep your teams and your company safe when it comes to all of the things, all of the assets that we have, the liabilities, just running day to day, all that we need to do this. We are doing it, we're living it with you, and we're sharing. So it's all about growing our businesses to be able to reach more people, to help more people. And to do that, we've got to partner. We've got to make sure that we're all sharing, learning, sharing, and growing together. And I love that. And I know, Laurie, we're running out of time here. I'm going to share just a couple of key takeaways. So by the way, myhsra.com. If you want to send us a message and have a conversation about what HSRA is, how you can get involved, definitely DM us. Send us a message. We would love to reach out to you. And Drew Brees, right? Drew Brees, champion. That's what I took. You're all champions. What are you a champion in? Build a championship team. Build a champion company. Build something that is literally understands the worst scenarios and the best scenarios. He shared so much about how he prepared for games as a quarterback, right? And it was the minute mindset. It was making sure that I understood what I could do, where my impact was, my greatest impact, and how I could game plan and make sure that we are reaching as many people as we can, and I'm doing the right things to do that. So, your partners, your business, your leaders, this is what it's about. We got to take chances. We got to have mental toughness as we go forward. We have to know our competition. Sometimes we're our own competition. If you say, well, really, Jana, we don't have competition. You're the competition. In the mirror, you are and be the best version of yourself. That's really what it's about. So with great leadership comes great responsibility. People are looking, and we are leading someone, whether it's one person or a lot of people. So leadership doesn't turn on and off. It's with you 24/7. So I super enjoyed him and just his tonality, but also his encouraging words. He said, Oh, I'll beat you. He even was like talking to Grant, like, oh, I'll beat you doing this. I'll beat you at anything. My competitive nature is huge, but it is the driving force of greatness. It's driving force of leadership. I want to be the best leader. I want to be the best father. I want to be the best in everything that I do. But a baseball player turned football player, right? That tells you he is multi-talented. And so I love that. And we definitely want you guys to be with us at the next 10X Growth Con. Get involved with what HSRA is doing. We want to take you with us on this journey, because the more people that we get to take, the more we all grow together. So myhsra.com, and make sure you have your ticket to the next event, the next conference, which is May 21st and 22nd here in Dallas. The Exchange starts with an X, exchangeevent.com. You, your realtors, everyone involved in real estate they must be at this event. If you're afraid to be in person, get your online ticket. We want to see you there.
Absolutely. And to just end this full circle, the X factor in building your business is to align with the right people, have the right education, and not have any lids on your thought process of where you can go. Because once you're aligned with the right people, HSRA is here to help. There is no limit to how far you can go in your business. So build together, make good relationships, and that's going to take you way further than you could ever go alone, because an empire is not built by one person. And so
Right.
I'm so excited that we had this opportunity. Thank you, Jana, for putting it together. Thank you for connecting the home staging industry with your relationship with the Cardones, with the 10X. And so I'm so excited to see where we grow from here. We will be back next week with some more valuable information on how to grow your home staging business. Reach out to us, myhsra.com, and we will see you next week.
Yes, see you guys. Have a good day.